Well, hi, Julie here from Cricket Leg Creative. How you doing? Bear with me today. I'm getting over a cold, so my voice might be a little off. Today, I'm sharing with you a Slimline card that I made using a cute little camper. Using also some stamps from Stampin' Up! White Christmas set. This is from way back. I have no idea when this was. I tried to look for a date on it, but using the snowman and the trees, and then the camper from the Sunny Studios Happy Camper set. And I'm just I've got a card that's like 4x9. I'm just kind of arranging the stamps on there how I want them. I want to put on my camper and my snowman first and make masks of them on Post-it notes as I go so that I can stamp the tree line around them. I like to use Post-it notes for small things like this. It's just a little easier, cheaper. I'm not being careful on the snowman because his arms are they're just little sticks, so they're not gonna get in trouble with other stamps. Using my Stamparatus from Stampin' Up, just a stamp positioning tool, and using the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. That's really good for this since I'm going to be using alcohol markers. And forgive me for not having the whole thing in the picture right there. Did not notice that until after I stamped this tree stamp the second time. Just positioning it where I want to. I'm not lining them up exactly because I want them in a specific spot, and so you'll see in a minute that there's a few gaps that I'll fill in with a Sharpie. I didn't want to take that off and move it while it still was had some leftover ink, so I just put a Post-it down to make sure I didn't stamp in the wrong spot. Ink it up and then stamp it again. So taking off the masks, and I'm going to use a Sharpie to just fill in those few spots there. Pretty easy to do, and you can't really tell that that's a gap. So now I'm just going to add some Christmas lights just with the Sharpie again in between the trees and the camper, and just drawing little tiny circles. I know it's hard to see where the lights are going to be. I kind of played around with this yesterday just to test out what I wanted to do, and I wanted to test out specifically what markers to use for the lights because I really wanted to look like they were glowing. I have a couple of Copics I'm trying to slowly add to my collection since they are definitely better markers, but my other markers are Ohuhu brand, and they'll just have to do. They're pretty good. Some of them are pretty good, some of them are a little dry. So I'm just coloring the area around each light just to do the glow with pink and green and yellow and blue. I didn't really mean to do 2 pinks in a row, but come to think of it, a lot of Christmas lights don't have like the 4 colors and then repeat the 4 colors. Sometimes you'll have a repeat of 1 color in there. So, and then I add in the actual light color, which is a little bit darker, brighter. Excuse me. And I'm just going to add a little bit of Christmas decor to the outside on the camper. The original stamp has flowers there, like a flower box, and I decided, it's hard for you to see, to do little red and green. I tried to show you real close there, but to make it look like it was greenery and berries. And then I drew a tree shape in the window, trying to get it to look decent there, and a wreath shape at the door. And I'll go back and kind of just outline those a little bit with my Sharpie to make them look a little nicer. And I think I go in and add a little bit of shading on the tree. If I don't do it right now, it comes later. There we go. I thought it would be fun to make it look like they were celebrating Christmas inside this cute little camping trailer. When I saw Sandy Alnock use this on one of her videos, I just thought it was so adorable, and I went out, I think I bought it that day. It's just a tiny little set, but it's so cute. So just adding some shadows inside and some color on the awning. I'm not coloring it all the way up because it kind of runs into the glow from the lights, so I'm kind of going to figure out later exactly how I'm going to do that. Coloring in parts of the camper, trying to also do some shading as I go, but I'm finding that I still am not quite adding enough contrast to give me the look that I want. I have signed up for one of Sandy Allnock's classes, her Copics Jumpstart class, which I only have a few Copics, but the concepts hopefully will not be too hard to translate over into my markers. They are still alcohol markers, just not the same numbers. So I am partway through that. I have a few little homework exercises to do some blending and glazing and things, but I'm so excited to get through that course because I really want to improve my skills at shading and contrast and backgrounds, and I just love all the stuff that Sandy Allnock has. Her videos are so much fun to watch for me. I just love watching her create. So just filling in the door and some stuff on the tires and shading around parts of the camper. I don't know which of her classes I'm going to take next. Probably a Christmassy one because I'm already in the Christmas mood, especially with the Christmas cards I've been making. And I, confession, have been listening to Christmas music since August, but no one can get mad at me because it's 2020 and I can do what I want. Not that I can't do what I want anyway, but if anyone's going to listen to Christmas music early, this is the year to do it, I feel like. All right, so it's hard for me, as I'm watching this on my editing app, it's hard for me to tell exactly what I'm doing because all the clips are sped up and it's hard to tell exactly. It's very choppy. But I can tell that I am coloring the snowman at this point. One of the things that I enjoyed playing with snowmen and snow in particular is putting some darkness in there so that the white parts of the snow actually pop, and I'll try to add some of that later. All right, so now what I'm trying to do with this blue is to kind of go not right next to the glow of those Christmas lights, but close enough that I can kind of blend in with the lighter one, and that's what I'm doing right there. I experimented with it yesterday, trying to see if I could create this glow, and I feel like it's going to work pretty good. I love the idea of being able to work with markers and being able to make things look as if they are lit up. And so this was a fun project to do. I actually thought about doing ink blending with ink blending tools where you kind of stamp the foam pad on your ink pad, and then you kind of do circles and blend on the paper. But then I thought, well, I can't really do that with very much precision and have that glow. So I decided to stick with markers. It's good practice for me anyway. I'm trying hard not to color over the trees because I was going to have them be a little bit lighter color. Later I end up going, ugh, whatever, and I kind of color over them some. So I'm going in with my darker blue, and I think I speed this up too because it took quite a long time. So one thing that I'm learning with doing these blended sky backgrounds is that you have to keep going over it and going over it and going over it in order to get rid of those marker lines that you see, and also to help with blending colors from light to medium to dark. And so if you watch Sandy Allnock, who is way better at this than I am, you'll see she just keeps going over and going over and going over and blending again and again with lighter or medium markers, depending on what two colors she's blending together. And that's all I'm doing here, is just continuing to blend. And then I added a little bit darker shade just in the corners, kind of, to give a little bit of depth to the picture. And then I just keep going over everything to blend it all in. It seems like it's taking forever, but as you do it, you can see, when you're up close, you can see those marker lines disappear. Uh-oh. And at some point, I ended up getting edited out, but at some point I got some marker goo on my thumb and made a nice blue thumbprint. So Another thing I've learned from Sandy Almach is to just keep going, and even if you think it's a hot mess, and even if you've made a mistake. And so that's what I did, and the whole time I'm coloring in these trees, I'm thinking, how in the heck am I going to color that over or cover it? Because it's snow. I wasn't planning on adding a whole lot of color into the snow. So I'm just kind of trying not to freak out of all the work I'd done on this card, and now I have this big blotch there. Adding some shadow underneath the camper and some shadows from the trees, just some hint of shadow. And I'm just trying to use like the Christmas lights as my light source so I can tell which way the shadows go. And I'm still trying to figure out which colors I like for shadow in the snow. Some blue grays and some kind of minty colors sometimes, and mixing them together, and still not quite getting it, the contrast that I want to get, but I still like it, and I'm making progress all the time because I'm practicing and I really enjoy it. If you haven't gone to her website, you should check out her videos where she tells you what you would learn in each of the classes. And even just watching the videos, I think it's just so much fun to see all the things you can do with markers. I'm just mesmerized by that. Okay, so I think at this point I'm adding, some decorations on the tree with a gold metallic gel pen, and adding a little bit more shadow in the back there to give some contrast. That gold pen, and also the white gel pen that I'll use here in a minute, I got as part of, there it is, the white pen. I ordered some colored assorted envelopes, A2 size, on Amazon, and it didn't say anything about coming with gel pens, because some of the envelopes are really dark, like there's some black envelopes in there. It makes sense that they would send you maybe something to write with on the black, but I love these gel pens. They work so well, and there's no manufacturer name on them, which frustrates me because I know they're going to give out someday. I won't be able to replace them unless I buy more envelopes, maybe. So I added some snow just in the branch crouches in the tree, and also on that greenery at the window, and also at the wreath, and on the snowman a little bit to just kind of make sure he doesn't fade away too much over there, and adding lots and lots and lots and lots of snow. I really wanted to fill up the sky with that. I feel like it just makes it look a little more magical to have all that snow there, and I feel like it makes the Christmas lights pop a little more too. So I figured out what to do. I keep all the white trimmings off of my cardstock so I can use them for sentiment strips. And I used one of the markers to make it the color I needed so it would match. And I stamped Lots of Love at Christmas, which is from a different Stampin' Up! Set. And it was a little flimsy, so I taped it onto the strip again to give it a little bit of heft. And then I colored the sides with the marker so that the white wouldn't show. And I'm just putting some Gina K tape runner adhesive on the back of that. And you can see how much ink comes through there. That's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to have that much so that it kind of bleeds through. That's the right way to do it. Trying to add a little bit of shading there. Now adding the little sentiment to cover up my boo-boo, which I think looks pretty good. No one will ever know. So now I'm going to stamp some decor on the envelope. And these are just legal envelopes that I had because I haven't ordered any pretty Slimline legal envelopes to use for things. Just stamping the camper and a snowflake and 2 different colors of blue so that it's something a little bit special to go with the card. And I think that looks pretty cute. So there you go, a little happy camper winter Slimline card. Make sure to subscribe to see more videos, and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. I hope to see you back soon in my next video. Y'all take care.